Okay, I literally cannot start this story without giving you some context. Because if I just say it, you'll think I'm making it up. But I swear, every single detail is real. It was a normal Tuesday. I was sitting on my bed scrolling through TikTok. My little sister Zoe was on the floor building some kind of, I don't even know, Lego castle? And Mom was in the kitchen humming like everything was fine. Totally normal. Totally innocent. Totally before the nightmare started. Then she called us into the living room. Which is usually fine, except when she says come here with that weird, excited glint in her eyes. You know the one. The I have a new plan that will ruin your life glint. We plopped down on the couch and Mom sat across from us with that look. You know the one where she thinks she's about to drop some wisdom. But really it's about to be chaos, yeah. And then she said it. You two are going to pretend to be conjoined twins. I paused mid-scroll. Zoe blinked. I swear, time slowed down. I literally couldn't even. Wait, did she just say that? I thought maybe I misheard. Maybe my earbuds were on. Maybe I was dreaming. No, she repeated it. You'll be conjoined twins for a week. A week. A week. A week. I looked at Zoe, who looked exactly as horrified as I felt. And yes, we are not twins. Not even close. She's my sister, yes, but identical. Ha! If Mom was expecting strangers to fall for this, she was dreaming. But apparently, Mom wasn't joking. Nope. She pulled out a notebook and started sketching. Diagrams of how she expected us to be surgically attached. Not real surgery, of course, thank God, but apparently, she had a whole fake medical procedure planned out. Bandages, straps, fake organs. I didn't even want to ask what that meant. I opened my mouth to argue. My brain was screaming, this is illegal. This is insane. You can't make kids do this. But before I could even form a sentence, Zoe whispered, we can't say no. Mom's already in full, whatever this is. And she was right. Because Mom had reached peak creative chaos. She started listing rules like we were actually signing a contract. Same clothes, same meals, walk together at all times, don't break the illusion. My brain was short-circuiting. I tried to laugh. I tried to tell her she was crazy. But there was no stopping her. And that's when she said it, the thing that made me wish I could disappear entirely. Also, you're going to school like this tomorrow. I swear, if someone had handed me a script for my worst nightmare, I couldn't have written something more humiliating. I looked at Zoe, she looked at me, we both silently agreed. This cannot be real. This is not happening. But it was, and somehow we were about to live it. And that's when Mom dropped the first actual rule that made me want to throw up. And I knew it was only going to get worse. Okay, so if you thought yesterday's Mom loses her mind announcement was bad, you have no idea what came next. The next morning, we were dragged into what Mom called the twin transformation station, which was basically our living room covered in sheets, a bunch of bandages, and I don't even want to know what that glue stuff was. Zoe and I exchanged one of those looks that basically screamed, we are officially trapped. Mom had laid out a color-coded plan, like she was some kind of twisted scientist. Blue for Zoe, pink for you, she said. Then she pointed to these straps she had designed, that were supposed to attach you at the waist for maximum twin realism. I stared, I blinked. I tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come out. Am I going to be glued to my sister for a week? Did this woman actually plan this like it's a science experiment? Zoe, to her credit, tried to laugh it off. Well, at least we'll be together, she said, her voice small and trembling. I gave her a weak side eye. Sure, being stuck together 24/7 sounded like fun. If you were literally a toddler in a daycare nightmare. Mom clapped her hands and started assembling her tools. There were straps, fake surgical tape, bandages, and some sticky things she claimed were essential for twin authenticity. She then announced with zero shame, you have to do a practice walk today in the backyard, and then I'll film it for evaluation. Filming, of course. Because why wouldn't this entire nightmare be documented? I swear Mom was already planning to post this on some alternate universe YouTube channel called Conjoined Chaos. So there we were, strapped together at the waist, walking like some human centipede. At first it was okay. Slightly awkward. Then Zoe tripped over a garden hose. I flailed, almost falling into the bushes. Mom yelled, authenticity! And I wanted to cry. And then came the bandages. Mom insisted we wear fake, surgical, wraps around our torsos to make it look like we'd undergone a real procedure. I felt like I was auditioning for the world's worst medical drama. The smell alone was enough to make me question every life choice I've ever made. We were wobbling around, tangled like pretzel humans, while Mom took notes. Remember, synchronized movements are crucial, she said. Like we were training for the Olympics of humiliation. By the end of the practice session, I was sweating. Zoe was whining and Mom was like ecstatic. She kept muttering, this is going to be so good for your coordination. Coordination? I almost screamed. This is the opposite of coordination. I'm literally being held hostage by my own mother's creativity. We tried to eat lunch afterward, thinking maybe some normalcy could return. Wrong. Mom had another rule. Identical meals for identical twins. She plated us the exact same sandwich, same chips, same soda. I stared at her like she was a cartoon villain. Zoe whispered, do you think we can fake a stomachache? I nodded so hard she almost choked on her drink. Then Mom dropped the first real bombshell that made me wish the earth would swallow me whole. You'll be going to school like this tomorrow. Full costume, full straps, full twin reality. I froze, Zoe froze. Even the cat looked concerned. School, are you insane? We're going to be humiliated in front of real people. Real humans, not just Mom's living room. And then, as if to make sure we were fully traumatized, Mom added, oh, and don't worry. You'll need to learn to share a single desk, a single locker, and eventually, a single social media account. For realism. What the actual hell? I looked at Zoe, she looked at me, and in that exact moment, the realization hit us both. We were screwed. Completely screwed. And that's when Mom handed us the first actual evaluation sheet. A checklist for how conjoined twins should act in public. I'm not even kidding. She had rules for walking, talking, eating, and breathing in sync. I thought it couldn't get worse. Oh, how wrong I was. Okay, so if you thought being strapped together and wrapped in fake surgical bandages was bad, welcome to the next level of Mom's insanity. She woke us up the next morning like nothing had changed. Except everything had. Because apparently yesterday was just training. Today it was real life. Mom handed us our first official twin uniforms. And by uniform, I mean exact same outfit. Down to the socks, shoes, and hair accessories. No exceptions. She even had us practice synchronized hairstyles in the mirror. Twins should always look identical, she said, tying our hair in matching braids like some deranged doll maker. Zoe muttered, I feel like I'm in a horror movie. I couldn't even argue. She was right. But I also knew arguing would end in tears, or worse, extra straps. Then came the meal rules. Breakfast was identical pancakes, identical fruit, identical glasses of orange juice. And don't even think about swapping a fork or licking one side of your pancake first. According to Mom, that would break the twin bond. I am officially a prisoner of syrup. Next, the walking rules. We had to stay tethered at all times when moving through the house, the backyard, and eventually outside. Mom even made a walking diagram, showing proper spacing, posture, and hand positions for maximum twin authenticity. Zoe whispered, we look like circus performers. I nodded, but she wasn't wrong. People walking by would probably assume we were filming some kind of viral stunt. Except Mom didn't care. Mom was thrilled. And then, the voice coordination rule. You must speak in harmony at all times, Mom said. It's essential for twin identity. I swear, I nearly lost it. Speak in harmony? Like a duet? Are we being graded on this too? School was the real horror test. We had to go fully strapped, fully bandaged, fully identical. Walking in, I could feel every single person staring. Every step was synchronized terror. We were tripping over each other, whispering apologies mid-step and trying not to scream. One of my classmates, Jake, who was always looking for an excuse to make fun of me, stopped, mid-laugh, and whispered, Are you, like, seriously joined? I wanted to vanish. I looked at Zoe, she looked at me, and we both panicked internally. Yes, Jake, we are living the literal worst reality ever. No, we don't want to talk about it. Yes, our mother is a certified psycho. Lunchtime was worse. Trying to eat without elbowing each other, spilling drinks, or dropping food into each other's lap. Absolute chaos. And Mom's voice was in my head. Eat in perfect sync. Two together. Twins are a unit. By the end of the day, I was exhausted, sticky, and ready to collapse. Zoe quietly said, This is going to be a long week. And then came the real kicker. Mom had one more rule to introduce. You'll need to document your twin life in a daily journal. For authenticity, and I'll be checking. Document our lives. Every humiliation. I looked at Zoe. She looked at me. We both knew in that exact moment this was no longer a prank. This was a full-blown lifestyle. And just when I thought my life couldn't get more mortifying, Mom handed us a camera and said, Smile, twins. The world is watching. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. I wanted to burn the straps. But instead, I just stood there, tethered to my sister, and silently prayed for invisibility. And that's when it happened. The first real public disaster of our twin act. Okay, so you think school is bad when you forget your homework or trip in front of your crush. Now imagine walking in bandaged, strapped to your sibling, wearing matching outfits, trying to act like you literally share a body. Yeah, that's my life now. The moment we stepped into the hallway, it was like the entire school had a collective seizure. Whispering, pointing, laughing, taking photos. I swear even the janitor stopped mopping to stare. Are they? Someone whispered behind us. I didn't even want to finish the thought. No one wanted to finish the thought. Zoe and I tried to walk in sync, which sounds easy until you realize your sister's left foot has a mind of its own. Cue tripping over our own straps, bumping into lockers, and knocking over a pile of books. Perfect. Lunch was a horror show. Sitting in the cafeteria, tethered together like Siamese disaster twins, trying not to spill your identical juice on each other. Impossible. I looked over at Zoe. She had this defeated glare that screamed, Please let me disappear. And then Jake, the same kid from yesterday, decided it was prime comedy hour. He started whispering over the table. Hey, are you guys actually joined? Do you share a brain too? I wanted to hurl my apple at him. Zoe just muttered under her breath. I hate everything about this life. Then it happened. The first viral moment. One of the other students whipped out a phone and started filming us walking down the hallway. My heart literally stopped. Oh great, perfect, this is going online. By the end of the day, I was exhausted, humiliated, and more than a little traumatized. But Mom was ecstatic. She loved it. She actually said, and I quote, This is exactly why I made you twins. You're building character? Character? I think she meant nightmares. The worst part? Social media. By the time we got home, a video of us tripping in the hallway had already been uploaded to the school's unofficial TikTok page. Hundreds of views, hundreds of comments. And the cruelest part? Everyone thought it was a joke. No, Mom made us do this. This isn't a joke. We are living a horror movie. Zoe looked at me with wide, panicked eyes. Are we ever going to survive this? I didn't have an answer, because I didn't know either. And that's when Mom, in peak delusional energy, said something that made my stomach drop. You're not done yet. Tomorrow we're taking your twin act outside of school. Public spaces, full straps. Maximum realism. I froze. Public spaces like the grocery store, the mall, anywhere there are real people. And just like that, the nightmare had only just begun. If you thought school was bad, congratulations. You've never had your mom drag you into public strapped to your sibling like a human backpack. The next morning, Mom rolled out her public twin protocol, which honestly I think she invented just to make our lives a living meme. Step 1, full costume, full straps, full fake surgery bandages. Step 2, synchronized walking everywhere from the car to the grocery store. Step 3, maintain twin composure no matter what happens. We got into the car trying to act casual. Yeah, casual. Like two slightly sweaty glued together humans is normal. Halfway to the store, I realized I couldn't breathe properly because Mom had insisted we coordinate our posture for ultimate twin realism. I whispered to Zoe, I'm going to pass out. Zoe just muttered back, same. We walked into the grocery store. Disaster struck immediately. A little kid pointed at us and shouted, "Look, twins!" Which is technically correct. But instead of being cute, the child's excitement sent a pack of their friends running toward us like we were some weird attraction at a zoo. Zoe tripped. I stumbled. Together we nearly took out an entire display of canned soup. Mom yelled from 2 aisles over, "Synchronize! Maintain twin form!" I almost threw my hands in the air. Maintain twin form? We are not models. We are being public spectacles. Then it got worse. Someone whipped out their phone. Someone else started filming. And before I knew it, the grocery store had an impromptu audience of like 20 people laughing, recording, and whispering. Great, viral content, fantastic, just what I needed. By the time we got home, Mom had already started analyzing the footage. "You see?" she said, pointing at the screen. "You need to move in perfect tandem. Your heads are off by 2 degrees in the cereal aisle." I wanted to scream. 2 degrees? It's a grocery store, not the Olympics. Then came the next rule, the one that really broke me. Mom said, "You have to keep a secret journal about your twin life. And you'll read it aloud every evening to me." No, just no. I looked at Zoe, who had already buried her face in her hands. We both knew in that instant, this was not going to end anytime soon. The humiliation, the straps, the coordinated eating, walking, speaking. It was endless. And then Mom smiled, the kind of scary, excited smile that means the next idea is way worse than the last. "Tomorrow," she said, "you'll start your first week-long twin challenge. Full activities, no breaks. And yes, I'll be filming every second for authenticity." I swear my soul left my body for approximately 3 minutes. I whispered to Zoe, "We're going to need bail money. Or an invisibility cloak." She nodded gravely. Or both. And just when I thought I'd hit my limit, Mom pulled out the last terrifying tool, a viral marketing plan for our twin act. Apparently the world needed to see us. I thought it couldn't get worse. Oh, how wrong I was. By the middle of the week, Zoe and I were officially living in hell. And not just any hell, but the hell of being forced to act like conjoined twins by your completely unhinged mom. Every morning started the same. Wake up, match outfits, strap ourselves together, and pray to whatever universe existed that no one outside would recognize us as. Well, normal humans. The straps chafed. The bandages itched. My knees were bruised from walking in perfect tandem. And Mom was still ecstatic. "I think you're improving," she said one morning, examining our awkward, stiff walk like she was judging dancers at a recital. "Your movements are more synchronized." I wanted to scream. But Zoe, ever the strategist, whispered under her breath, "Let's just survive today. One day at a time, then maybe we can actually rebel." And she wasn't wrong. Because somewhere in all this chaos, a weird thing happened. I actually started noticing small things I loved about being stuck with Zoe. Like, when I tripped in the cafeteria and she caught me before I landed face first in the mashed potatoes. Or when we whispered jokes mid-stride while Mom wasn't looking. Those tiny stolen moments felt like rebellion. Even in hell, we found a way to make it slightly bearable. But the humiliation? Oh, it was relentless. Every single hallway, every single classroom, every single public place. We were stared at, laughed at, and filmed. One day, a kid in gym class shouted, "Look! Real-life human pretzels!" while we were doing synchronized stretches. Human pretzels. That became our nickname. I wanted to disappear. Even worse, Mom made us write in our twin journals every night. And not just write, we had to read them aloud to her. She wanted emotional authenticity. I remember sitting there, Zoe beside me, both of us red-faced, recounting every tiny embarrassing moment from the day. I felt exposed, humiliated, trapped. But Zoe whispered one thing that stuck. "We'll get through this, together, even if it kills our dignity." And for the first time in the week, I felt a weird mix of gratitude and frustration. I hated being stuck with her like this. But I also couldn't imagine going through it without her. It was like the worst bonding exercise in history. But just when I thought we might survive the week with our sanity barely intact, Mom had the audacity to introduce the final test. "You two will now attempt the ultimate twin challenge tomorrow. Outside the city, full straps. Public transportation. Maximum realism." I froze, Zoe froze. Even the cat looked concerned. Outside the city, public transportation. Maximum realism. And that's when it hit me. We weren't just humiliated anymore. We were about to be humiliated on a global scale. I thought I couldn't possibly be more mortified. Oh, how wrong I was. By this point, I was officially running on pure panic, humiliation, and a desperate desire to escape Mom's madness. And Zoe pretty much the same. Mom decided the ultimate twin challenge would take place outside the city, yes. She actually said that on public transportation. In crowded streets, in stores, basically everywhere humans existed. Maximum exposure, maximum realism, maximum nightmare. The morning started with straps, matching outfits, surgical tape, and enough bandages to make us look like escaped mummies. Mom was ecstatic. "This will be great content," she said, filming us while we waddled to the bus stop. Content? My life is not a movie. The bus ride was the first disaster. Trying to sit side by side without tangling straps. Avoiding hitting strangers with our limbs. And somehow pretending we were a single unit was impossible. People stared. Some laughed. Some whispered. Some gave the classic "what the heck are you looking at" glare. And then it happened. A guy stepped on our straps. Zoe stumbled. I grabbed her arm to stop her from face planting. And in the process, I accidentally elbowed an old lady carrying a grocery bag. Cans went flying. Juice spilled. People yelled. Mom, in the back, was laughing hysterically while filming. Perfect. Authenticity. I wanted to crawl under the bus seat, literally. By the time we got off, strangers were snapping pictures, filming videos. And somehow the chaos had escalated. Someone posted a clip online. Within hours, our faces were viral on some teen TikTok page. Hundreds, maybe thousands of views. Comments ranged from "OMG twins goals" to "WTF is this nightmare?" Zoe and I looked at each other like, we've officially peaked in public embarrassment. There is no coming back. But Mom, she was just getting started. She had another idea, a team exercise in a crowded mall. That meant more straps, more synchronization, More forced smiling while being ogled by strangers. We were wobbling down the escalator like two human marionettes when a kid shouted, "Look, real-life conjoined twins." And I swear something in me snapped. I spun to glare at him, accidentally pulling Zoe with me, and we toppled into a display of shoes. Shoes. Everywhere. People gasped. Mom was still filming. I froze. Zoe froze. Everyone froze. The escalator moment became a full-on mall disaster video. Someone yelled, someone laughed, and I wanted the earth to open up and swallow us whole. And that's when Mom, in her peak delusional energy, said the thing that made my brain shut off entirely. Perfect. That's exactly the chaos we need for your twin evaluation. I literally cannot even. I looked at Zoe. She looked at me. I knew she was thinking the same thing I was. This is it. The nightmare is at its peak. And I'm not sure we're coming back sane. And just as we were about to gather the wreckage, Mom dropped the final terrifying twist. You're going to live this way for the weekend. No breaks, full twin immersion. And yes, your social media journal is going public tomorrow. I thought it couldn't get worse. Oh, how very wrong I was. Somehow, some miracle of the universe, the weekend ended. I don't even know how we survived. The straps were off, the bandages were gone, and my social media journal, thankfully, was not fully public. Mom got distracted by making matching bracelets instead. Zoe and I collapsed on the couch, still in shock. We were sticky, bruised, exhausted, and mentally traumatized, but alive. Mom, as usual, was ecstatic. See? That was character building. Authenticity. Experience. She had this smug look, like she'd cured world hunger or invented electricity. I wanted to scream, but instead, I just stared at her, blinking, hoping my brain would reboot. Zoe muttered, "I think I aged 10 years. I nodded. I think we both did. We spent the next few days recovering. Sleep, food that wasn't identical, clothes that weren't matching, small joys. Like using the bathroom alone without worrying about synchronizing bladder breaks. Yes, Mom made us coordinate bathroom trips. Don't even ask. And honestly, while I hated every second, there were weird moments of gratitude. Zoe and I got through it together. We survived the straps, the public humiliation, the viral disaster, and Mom's unhinged rules. We found our small moments of rebellion and laughter, whispered jokes, and even minor victories, like spilling juice on Mom's notebook, without her noticing. Would I ever want to relive that week? Absolutely not. Did it bond us in the strangest, weirdest way possible? Yes. Mom, of course, learned nothing. A week later, she was suggesting a superhero roleplay, where we have to wear matching capes and pretend we can only walk in sync, while fighting imaginary villains. I stared, Zoe stared. The cat looked horrified. And that's when I realized something important. Some parents never stop being chaotic. Some parents never stop thinking they're life's creative director. And sometimes, you just survive, roll your eyes, and laugh because if you didn't, you'd cry forever. So yeah, that's the story of how my mom made us pretend to be conjoined twins. We lived, we laughed. We cried, and we learned one very important thing. Never underestimate the power of a mom who's creatively insane. Also, never underestimate straps, synchronized walking, or having your life accidentally uploaded to the internet as a viral human pretzel video. And honestly, some nights I still wake up, glance at Zoe, and whisper, "Hey, remember the week we were human pretzels?" She nods, we laugh. And somehow, we survived.